Welcome back to the Paranormal Review. Today we have a photo we're going to review. Guys, we haven't done a review in a long time. Part of that's because of AI. This could be AI, but this one is one of the ones that looks like it could possibly not be AI as well. You know, some of those AI ones are just completely obvious. So this one's interesting. We're going to call this one the Oregon Bar Canal Trail. It was posted in a group from Northern California. And the poster says, went for a walk this afternoon over by the Oregon Bar Canal Trail. And had one of those, did that just really happen moments. I stopped for a bit overlooking the water and noticed something swimming across the river, but the way it was moving didn't look like anything I'd ever seen before. Not a deer, not a dog, not anything that just made any immediate sense. I managed to snap a picture, but you'll probably have to zoom in to catch it. Curious if anyone else was out there today and happened to see the same thing. Okay, here is the photo. The thing I find interesting about this photo is because, first of all, he says it was swimming across the river. It's clearly not swimming. If whatever it is just standing there. And at first, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, is this a stump? Is this just a rock? I don't know, because there's ripples. Okay, you see these ripples around this thing? That's what makes me interested in this photo. If it was just sitting here and there was no ripples around it, I mean, I guess that could be fish. It could be things moving around in the water, but it seems like they're, circling out from this object, which makes me believe that they're created from this object. And I don't know if that's something AI would do. If you said, give me a Bigfoot in the middle of a water or a river, wouldn't it just be a Bigfoot without the ripples? I guess you could instruct to please add ripples and all that kind of stuff. Who knows, right? We're going to look at something real quick. And what I did here is I took a prompt and I made a prompt for AI. And what I did for the prompt is I just said, give me a forest with brown river rock, looking down from above, and there's a Bigfoot in the river with ripples. And this is what it gave me. But you can tell this is all AI, guys, around you. You can tell that this forest is AI and it's created by AI. But then I remember this photo is not AI. This is obviously not AI, guys. Okay? This is absolutely real, and you can tell it by looking at Google Maps. This is what the vegetation looks like. Looks like a real photo. It's pixelated. There just happens to be a creature right here. So what I did is I added this photo to Grok, and then I made a prompt saying to add a Bigfoot and add ripples around that Bigfoot. And look what we have, guys. We have Bigfoot and ripples added to a real photo. So this makes me even more kind of concerned about future reviews, because you're not reviewing the rest of the photo, because this whole photo real, it could be just the one thing in the photo that's fake, and the rest of it could be absolutely real. Right? The one thing that you can tell is there's ripples here where they weren't in the first one. So that's, a telltale sign that this is obviously AI, because why are there ripples way out here? There's nothing here, right? You could argue a fish jumped out of the river or something. I don't know. Anyways, but when you zoom in, guys, it's a blurry Bigfoot standing knee deep with ripples, similar to what this guy is, knee deep with ripples. It's really kind of, you can't really discount this as being AI or not. It's hard to tell. But I just want to show you guys it is possible to add like a Bigfoot here in AI. And I don't know if this was here instead of this, this one looks a little bit more legitimate. It's more blurry. It's a little bit less obviously just standing there and staring at the camera kind of a thing, right? But anyways, guys, it's possible that this is AI, but not conclusive that it's AI. It's hard to conclusively say anything about it because it is taken from so far away that it's, could this just be a person? Could this be it kind of looks like a little bit of, there's like a seam right here on this photo, a pixelation. I mean, those are just pixels, right? Each one of these has it, and it kind of just cuts off the end of it. Could this be a horse? Could this be a horse and that's the head, right? And that's the body? I don't know. At first glance, it looks pretty convincing that this is like some kind of a gorilla or a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. Unfortunately, it's just too far away to tell for sure. Could it be a horse? Something like that? With this pixelation here, it's hard to tell if this is the whole creature. Could it have a, longer nose? I don't know. Let's look at the location. All right, guys, if you look at Oregon Bar and where it's located, what you're going to see is, okay, this is a lot of very forested area, okay? And, we've had sightings from Tahoe up here sent to us before that were really interesting. But as you see, when you get down into here, you got a lot of different little cities that start popping up. And is a Bigfoot really going to kind of, I guess they could come down this river in between these cities. There's cities here, there's cities here. Auburn, this city right here looks pretty big. Is it really, is a Sasquatch really going to come all the way down this river? And for what reason, right? If I'm a Bigfoot, I'm probably staying up here somewhere in the mountains, right? Away from people. So that kind of leads me to believe that this is probably not a Bigfoot as well. But let's look at this river. I was trying to look at this river. He said he was near the trail, and I was trying to find a spot on the trail that looked like, is it a drone? He says that he stopped for a little bit and took a photo, which makes me believe that he took it from a phone, not a drone. This looks pretty high up. And I'm looking through here, it's hard to tell how high things are, I guess. This looks like it could be a pretty high little ledge. But I don't see this gravel, anywhere. So he would have had to walk to the top of some ledge over here and then take a photo. I guess on either side. I'm not sure if he's facing north or south or east or west, depending on which part of the river he's on. But that's the river, guys. And as far as, trying to find out exactly where he was, I have no idea. It's hard to tell. But my main criticism of this river is you got like cities over here and little, places. You got a big city over here. You got Forest Hill, it looks like over here or something. What is this over here? That's also Auburn, I guess, and Cool and Greenwood. Georgetown. There's all these little cities around this side of it, and then you have other cities on this side of it. So until you get up to here where it gets more mountainous and then it spreads out, I don't know. It leads me to believe that if I was a Bigfoot, I'd be trying to hanging out more in the mountainy areas rather than getting all the way down into this little tiny narrowy gorge that's in between Pilot Hill or Cool and Forest Hill and all these other places. To me, that's my criticism, guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is a Sasquatch, or do you think this is what do you guys think, guys? Do you think this is a Bigfoot Sasquatch, or is this some kind of a horse or a person with a backpack on, or is it AI? It could be AI. Yeah. The pros for this video, I would say, is that the ripples coming off of it ripple out. And I would say that the cons are the location, and that, if this guy had zoomed out, probably you might see some buildings in the background, right? I don't know. If you're from this area or know this area, let me know, is this a decent spot for a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch to appear? Anyways, guys, until next time, please subscribe, like, and we'll see you later.